Hello, Ectosage here on the Sage channel, and this in front of you that you see slowly, or actually rather quickly, drifting into your screen is my latest ship. It is a massive hauler. It is actually more of a world hauler, designed to carry, well, whatever you would need from one world to another to basically resettle probably, I don't know, maybe a city, maybe a small country. It's pretty big. It's mirrored left to right, up and down, and front to back. That means it has a total of 4 different control rooms and 10 different living areas. It has these large engine nacelles, which are a bit strange to stick out the way they do, but I figured it might give us more engines facing forward and back. It doesn't. I should have just done them the other way and then done these side engines like that facing the forward and back. By the way, if you're a bit confused at what is forward and back, that's the front and back, that's the front and back. You get it? It can fly either way, because this ship does not handle very well. In fact, it barely handles at all, but considering it's probably going to be going long distances, and probably not going to be making a return trip, well, or at least not making a trip to a different location, meaning it can go in a straight line to where it's going, drop off its supplies in space, and fly back the other way. Just going in reverse, pretty much. You're probably not going to need to turn it around. If you do, well, enjoy taking a day to do so. If I was to edit anything with this ship, it would probably just be either redesign or just putting in more gyroscopes. Its main drive system isn't just these engines, though, because that would take forever to get it going. Its main drive system is actually, if I turn on my inertial dampeners so I can actually have some better control, it's right inside this large pylon right here, and the one that's at the other side of the ship, and it is a gravity drive. If we were to look in there through these windows, you will very quickly see that there are artificial mass blocks in there. In fact, we can get another view from up here, and you should be able to barely see it right there. There is a gravity generator. There's about 5 gravity generators in there, and tons of artificial mass blocks right here, and of course that's mirrored at the other side of the ship to speed it up. Now there are assortment of different ways into the ship. You can go through the doors right there, or along this large thing. There are dozens and dozens of doors to allow people to load and unload stuff very easily. And I'm going to actually get into the ship from the center area here, but only after I've explained its cargo a bit more. See, unlike a lot of other ships, I'm not just using connectors here. The idea is you get to wherever you're going, you disengage these merge blocks to release this block here. Another ship with its own merge block flies up, grabs it, and then takes it off to wherever you need to store the supplies, easily transferring the whole crate worth of things at once. Also, right now I would like to apologize for the low frame rate of 9, because it's sort of like a 6 million poly ship, and Space Engineers, I sort of doubt it is culling all of the stuff I can't see, because if it was, I would only be rendering probably about 2 polys right now, and considering I'm still getting 10 frames per second, I doubt it. Anyway, yeah, it's a big ship. Let me just do a fly through here. You can see all the supply crates stuck in. This is a modularly built ship, built in creative mode as a station, which means I built a single line of these blocks, a single line of actually these components, and then copied them along. So I built basically one section here where you can see the support beams separating it. So from that block to that block, built the whole thing right there, and then just copied, pasted it, merged it together. With it's a station, all you gotta do is put 2 blocks next to each other after you've copied and pasted, such as that, and voila, they would have merged. And just kept on doing that to get the huge array here of storage. So you get a whole fracking bunch of them, tons and tons of them. Some of the ones down here you would have some trouble disconnecting and getting to, such as this one. To really get to that one and remove it, you would have to remove this one first, which is part of the reason this would be sort of a world transporter. You'd only really want to take them all out instead of just 1 or 2. Because it would be a bit silly just to be filling up a few of these canisters to drop at one place. You'd want to be moving a lot of stuff all at once. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get inside one of these doors here. And you'll see as I fly along, there are tons and tons of doors with our sort of orange running lights to light everything up. I'm going to go into the door at the far end here, that way we can have a nice fly down the tunnel in the center of the ship, which could actually be used to store even more stuff if you wanted to just store cargo crates of some sort that currently don't exist in the game. But if we're role-playing in some ways, we could have some more. Also, you might notice I seem to be upside down here. If I turn on my UI now, you can see there is actually gravity in here. So if we were to look down, you can see storage crates. If we were to float out, you can see more storage crates and another door over there. It's pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and actually go inside now. Close that airlock door. Pop open the airlock on the inside, and there we are. We're now inside the large structure. And yeah, you can see it's a pretty big area. You could be storing tons and tons of stuff just stocked up in here, piled up in here. It's pretty nice. And of course there is a floor up there. If I was actually to fly up to this one, you can see now we can stand on this one instead. They're mirrored gravity to allow you more storage space and walking area. Anyway, let's run down this whole thing. In fact, let's fly, because it's going to take us a long time to get down there, even flying. A pretty interesting shot, if I do say so myself. And I think we're sort of getting to the end of the ship. There we go. We'll start slowing up. Awesome. Oh, by the way, this is a work generator. It should have been removed ages ago, because I have main generators in place now. So there we go. Remove that. We'll now go ahead through this door. Remember the... Oh, right, I left a gravitational field right at the end here. You sort of leave the gravity field. Remember the ship is mirrored that side to this side as well as up, down, left, and right. Okay, so moving through, this is now sort of the reactor area of the ship, where you can see we got our sort of walk paths. There's no gravity in here, but it's sort of just to give you an idea of where to go. And you can see all of our reactors are tied together with conveyors to allow you to ensure they are all fueled up all at once. And actually these pipes go up here and run beneath the floors of that huge hallway we're in. You can see the gravity generators here. And you can see they run all the way down to the other side of the ship, where we have even more gravity generators, of course, because it's mirrored. Anyway, let's fly back down here. We'll run to the end of this hallway. You can see tons and tons of reactors in here to keep the ship powered. And you can see, actually that's it for this, so we just go through this door. There's nothing else to see here, really. By the way, there were windows behind these, because I sort of like the idea of having just windows to show reactors. If they glowed really cool, you might see them through there. I don't know, it's not exactly structurally sound, but it's interesting, I would say. Anyway, let's go ahead and move through this door now into this large open area. Still, this is a gravity-free environment, meaning, well, that whole area there is mainly just for cargo. You're probably not going to be going to the other side of the ship anytime during its transit. You're just going to be sitting in the livable areas that we're going to be getting to in a minute, which are actually up there through that access port and down there through that one. But for now, we're going to go through this door here, and this actually leads us into our gravity drive. And you can see here, from the outside, those were those windows that we sort of peeked through earlier, or we were looking in. It's a pretty dang interesting area to look through. Sort of reminds me of Halo for some reason. Halo 2, I think. But anyway, there you go. Tons and tons of artificial mass blocks, and a fair few gravity generators, more than I originally thought even. Forgot, I guess. And so yeah, this whole area is just full up with them. They can reach most of them. If I was to turn those on, I think it's a gravity field of... I don't know, it's a fair amount because they're actually double deep. So I think it's actually 14, so I guess we have 7 gravity generators for each level. So you get the point. Anyway, let's go ahead and leave the artificial mass gravity drive room. Go back out through here, close that door. And now we're going to go ahead and go up here. And remember, this up here is mirrored down there. So I'm going to be showing you one of these. And if we were to fly through this doorway, we'll actually fly straight up like this, and you might notice we're in a gravity field again. And of course, this is a gravity field that does not reach those artificial masses. This is the livable area. So in here through this door, this is where you would have either your beds or eating area. And this is basically the same area you could set up as you wish. And then if we carry on all the way up here through this door, it leads into like the main hall, where you could really set up anything in such a large open hallway. These walls here, you could pop them open. There's a small corridor in there if you want to use that space. And then this leads down into just sort of civilian storage or crew storage here. No lights in there. And that's mirrored on that side. And then finally, of course, to the bridge. And by the way, we do have in the glass floors here, which are actually connected by these single pieces there, and actually all the way down here we have that single little bit sticking out there. But I think it's a pretty cool view to be able to look down and see the artificial mass blocks through the glass a little bit, or see the stars. It's pretty nice, I think. And then of course this leads us all the way down to the bridge, where we can pilot the ship. So if we were to hop in there, you can see it's a pretty heavy ship, pretty big ship. And if I was to try to turn it right now, well, you can barely see anything happening at all. I'm trying to go forward and turn to my left now. I think you can see a slightest turn. Like I said, it would take ages. Anyway, let's go ahead and come to a stop. You can see its acceleration there was pretty poor. Of course, using these engines, what we're going to do now is actually go ahead and disable our inertial dampeners, press K to open up our UI, and we're going to go ahead, select the gravity drive, and we're just going to turn it on. And there you go. I thought I turned those off. There we go. And now you can see we're all the way up to, well, pretty much max speed. Yeah, we're at max speed. So there you go. Gravity drive is amazingly powerful. And even though it's a humongous ship, it can get it moving pretty dang quick. Oh, by the way, here's the information thing. If you want to see, yes, indeed, 6,495,000 triangles. Yeah, it's got a fair amount, eh? Let's go ahead and now disable that gravity drive, so we don't need that. And that is set up, by the way, to control the artificial mass blocks and the actual gravity generators in that room, so it shuts them all down all at once when I press that button, giving us pretty good control. Now you can see our frame rate has pretty much died, so it's gone. But yeah, pretty nice ship. I like it. It could be slicker. It's a bit strange with that whole front setup and this coordinate. Yeah, you can tell I sort of have a few different conflicting ideas when I was setting it together, but I don't know, I overall like the idea of having that huge area down the middle. My next ship that I build will probably be another cargo ship. And I'm thinking instead of having just each container separate individually, I might have huge like stacks of them tied together or something, or have sort of modular pieces you could slot in and out of the ship. I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll find out, I guess, when I start building it and see what comes. By the way, one last little thing. You can see here I have broken up all the different light sections for the different areas, the external blocks, the doors, all sorts of stuff. It's all separated out. That way you can control, you know, different things however you like. And some of them have this. And also I've named a few of the things. If we were to scroll down through the hundreds of different things here, if we get to the lights, you can see I have my sort of naming convention of start and ends and all that stuff. Anyway, yeah, just so you know, it's named and coded. No, not named and coded, but named as, yeah, these are all cargo containers. If I wanted to, I could actually go ahead and separate those cargo containers, couldn't I? And then I could turn the artificial gravity drive in reverse, couldn't I? Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? That's a good way to close. Merge block, cargo container. Let's go ahead and tell it to turn off, shall we? Alrighty, so there we go. They're all free. And let's see, let's go ahead and pop that open again. Let's take our gravity drive, and these are just the drives themselves, not the actual drive everything. And we've reversed them. Now let's turn everything on. Right, we're still moving. I suspect the game has had a sort of glitch where if too much happens, yeah, you can see the asteroid at the far back right, it's not moving, which means the ship, even though all the drives and stuff think they're functioning, even though it thinks we should be moving at an extreme speed the other way, it's not happening. But those cargo containers, if you look, have indeed been separated because there are no green lights on in between them. So let's go ahead and save. And I'll really quickly restart. And I mean restart the game, not just the map. You have to restart your game if this sort of glitch happens. Alrighty, and now we're loading back into it, and I've started my recording back up now because, of course, I left those gravity generators on, the gravity drive on, in reverse. So, the second we get in there, I suspect there's going to be a huge amount of crashing as my ship attempts to go backwards, while, of course, all those crates are still going to be trying to go at 104 point whatever meters per second to the other way, and there we go, it's loaded up. I'm trying to turn my camera around while holding Alt, and you see our frame rate has died. Hi, yep. That was something else, and somehow stuff has gotten into my cockpit. Don't quite know how that happened. Let's go ahead and tell our gravity drive now to go ahead and switch directions again, and let's try to catch up to that wreckage. Okay, and you see there most of our engines are now completely and utterly scrapped. Yeah. And pretty much now I'm going to end up ramming back into that wreckage now that I think about it. Because of course it has hit us, which means it's slowed down. Yeah, look at that. It looks like an asteroid field, and we're heading right for it. Oh god. What's this look like in third person? Come on. Oh boy. Oh wow, and look, the ship's been torn wide open. That's brilliant. And here you can see I've sped up the footage a tiny bit, that way it's not taking 3 months to get ahead. I didn't speed up the earlier footage, by the way, because you might have noticed it was a bit jumpy. I cut out the scenes where it jumped to the cockpit. But overall I just left that at normal speed, that way you could sort of see the explosions and stuff, otherwise it was just so jumpy, it wasn't showing up well. And there's my dog. You see here I've gone ahead and turned on my turned off the gravity drive and started the braking process. Let's go ahead and turn off inertial dampeners. I should have cut our speed by a bit. If I can pop up my UI, oh, just a bit, not too much actually. A bit more. I don't think we're actually going to hit anything because I think the cloud of rubbish has dispersed so greatly around us. Though of course something is still inside the ship doing some damage, but overall I don't think we're taking too much damage anymore. Yeah, that was slightly unexpected. My camera kept spurging out there because stuff was getting in the way, but yeah, that was pretty awesome. Anyway, this ship will be up on the Steam Workshop if you would like to poke around with it yourself. But please be warned, it's probably going to cause you a whole lot of lag unless you got a really powerful computer. Might not be advisable to actually use it, because even my computer is chugging, and I've got a pretty decent computer. And of course be warned, if you decide to disactivate all of those merge blocks at the same time, well, you're probably going to cause some trouble. Anyway, let's go ahead and stop this ship moving and take just a quick look at the damage that we've caused, because I don't think we're going to run into too much stuff up there. A few things here and there. It's pretty cool that there's like an almost intact line of supply crates out there to our right, but I don't think we're going to really catch them. Let's go ahead and disable gravity drive. And go ahead and turn on inertial dampeners. They'll start firing and slowly slowing us down. Let's hop out of our cockpit, and instantly you can see our ceiling was ripped wide open. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I even saw like that big pane of glass floating away there. And for some reason I'm flinging forward. Of course I am, because the ship is slowing down, but I wasn't. I've bursted my inertial dampers there and being tossed about. Yeah, so you can see the ship is in a pretty bad way. In like a really bad way. In a way of like, why is there a merge block stuck right here? And oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, this ship it ran into some trouble that it caused itself, and it's pretty much wrecked now. Wow, look at all the shearing over there of the the arms that held stuff completely gone. A huge amount of them. You can still see there's stuff flying past us because we ended up flying past it again. Dang. Anyway guys, you can see here I've sped up the footage a tiny bit, just so we're not sitting here all month. It's at 200% speed right now. And you see the nice impact there and that stuff buzzing away. There's so much stuff floating around us. I'm pretty sure it's just because we flew back into the original cloud, but look at some of those impacts as this stuff goes buzzing by. Look at that big piece. Oh, there was even an explosion there. And they just joined. Jesus. Anyway, yeah, the ship, a lot of it actually looks pretty good right here, but if you look at the bottom, you can see a bunch of pieces missing along there. And of course the front area where we just were, and the front area where we are now, yeah, there's a nacelle just missing. There's even a lot of damage way back here. So anyway, that's it guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.